We decided to go to Elsbridge. So far nothing major has happened while we've been there, and if any surviving person or engine is still alive they would have to go through there. Toby asked if we could go faster. He said it was because he wanted to get to Elsbridge as fast as possible, but we were passing through Tidemouth. I knew he wasn't telling the truth. We all did. We had just arrived at Elsbridge, and while we were searching the station we found Greg and a few survivors from the nearby town. I was happy Greg was still alive, and I asked what had happened to him as he wasn't there when I initially searched the station the day prior. He said he was sitting in his office reviewing the timetable when he heard screaming from outside. He went to investigate and was immediately attacked by a zombie. He was just barely able to get it off and ran back into his office where he grabbed his revolver and blew the bastard's head off. Did I ever tell you how he was a sharpshooter? To my knowledge he's never missed a shot in his life. Anyways, by the time he had cleared the station he ran into town in attempts to find survivors. At that point we assumed that I had arrived in Toby, and by the time he got back we were gone. He said that several engines went past. First he saw Donald get sent down the Elsbridge branch. He looked scared and was covered in blood, and a few hours ago he saw Arthur Thunder past with a fish train. His whistle was blaring, and sparks flew from his funnel. Greg said that he couldn't get the sight out of his head. Arthur was just being torn to pieces by those things as he screamed for mercy. Poor engine. We had returned to the goods shed and Toby was looking down his branch line. He said he was worried about the others. He felt awful about leaving Ben, and had no idea if he was okay. In the middle of his sorrows we heard the whistle of an engine, and we saw rounding the bend was Douglas. He had a coal truck, a van, and Spiteful Brakeman who were both full of survivors, workmen and civilians. He said he was at Crovan's Gate to pick up Spiteful Brakeman when this all started. He waited at the platform for the all clear when he heard a strange rattling sound. He soon found it to be Peter Sam, who looked cold and scared. His eyes were a light gray, almost as though the life had been sucked out of him. That was when he changed. Peter Sam began to cry blood, and soon after his face fell to the side. Douglas screamed in horror at the sight in front of him, but he soon fell silent and listened. He heard breathing, but not of his own. It was Peter Sam. Douglas was horrified at the sight. Then people all around Crovan's Gate began to scream as they were attacked by these things that looked like people. Douglas crew threw on Douglas' throttle and raced away where they found a coal truck and a van. They huddled people inside and raced back towards the work shed where they found Spiteful Brakeman. While they were leaving they heard James' frantic whistling and his cries for help from the other side of the works. We couldn't believe all of this. This whole thing was island-wide. We knew we had to get off of the island. The mainland could help us and give us the answers to the many questions we had.